Hello, my tarot maniacs. I got the mute button off. So welcome to Thursday, Tarot Thursday. This is awesome. So we've got lots of good people in the chat. I think one of my girlfriends is coming over. I just messaged her. But as always, I want to kick this off with celebrating those amazing mods. You guys are holding the door, so thank you, mods. Those of you that don't have YouTube channels, having great mods is super, super important. They get rid of people like Rohar Bacon Moo. Rohar Bacon Moo, bye-bye. You don't have to stay here. You can call me a phony all day long, but I'm not the one hiding behind a weird avatar and a crazy mixed up name. So get on with yourself. Zeph, I told you, I'm zero tolerance today. So this is our paid reading room. We do this twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is for paid questions for you guys, personal questions, but I will take an odd pop culture question here and there. And I just have a feeling that I need to bust out this Housewives Tarot, guys. This is one of my favorite decks. It comes in a little recipe box. Cindy and Denise. We were talking about cookbooks a little bit earlier. Penny D, how are you, my friend? I actually fell asleep last night watching the Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock show on Atlantis. They did a live and I missed the live, so I had to watch it on the replay. So I did not watch Aphrodite. Aphrodite is another psychic and tarot reader on the interwebs on YouTube. He's fantastic. He's on all the social medias. And apparently him and I share the same opinion about Taylor Swift. So does Penny. And her purported engagement to Travis Kelce. So we have some similar opinions. But I do want to say right before this live, I was trapped under cat. I had little sweet baby Gigi sleeping on my lap. Bacon biscuit. She is a biscuit baker, just like her mama. And I have an update on that too. So our little biscuit baker decided it was the right time to take a nap on me. And I was like, oh, Gigi, I gotta get up. Update on Cutie Patootie. She got a home. She actually was adopted out. My neighbor said something to me. She said, I think that she got adopted out of the rescue. I followed the rescue on my Facebook, and I was scrolling through the pictures, looking for her, and I couldn't find her anywhere. And I was like, I don't think they adopted her. I did a search for, they renamed her Ember. And so I did a search for her name. I couldn't find her. And then our neighbor Laura found it and sent it to me. And sure enough, she goes, I don't know if that's her in the cat carrier. And I looked and I said, that's my girl. That's my girl. So I did comment on it. And I was like, I am so glad that Ember got a good home. So I'm a little emotional about it, but we really, we have a fairly nice sized home. It's plenty of house for us, but with the 4 cats, it's a lot in here with Raven. So it's a lot. We do use the lower level, the basement down here. So it gives us a little bit of extra room, but it's a lot. And we really could not have 6 cats. Is it 6? Yeah, 6 cats. It would be, I don't even know how many cats. If we had Cutie Patootie, it would have been 6 cats. And I really think that that would have put Pusheen over the edge. I think Pusheen would have been over the edge. Oh, Denise, Gigi is beautiful. She is what's called a buff. It is actually a reverse orange cat. The genetics is a reverse orange cat, which is pretty cool. Something I did not know. I thought she was going to be all white, and she's actually this beautiful buff color. And she's so soft. She's like the softest cat in the world. And her brother's really not. Her brother's got kind of a rough coat. And he's twice the size of her. Trevor Cat MC. Those of you that are fans, Trevor Cat MC. He's a good cat. He's a little weird, but he's a good cat. So I'm going to kick it off with, and Hypsee we're dropping the links for Hypsee here. Let me drop another one here. This is for personal readings, and I will be live on Hypsee all evening. Thursday night is going to be an all-night night for me, where I will keep it on as long as necessary. And I am going to be live all weekend on Hypsee. So Saturday morning, Ella and I have a little bit of running around to do. It is her last weekend home. She's going back to school on the 19th. So I'm going to miss my baby girl, but we're going to do a little shopping before she heads back. And, take it from there. It's going to be a little bit different not having her here again. So, and next year I'm going to have no babies in the house. Next year, everybody's going to be going back to school after Christmas break. So it's going to be weird. It's going to be really weird. So speaking of, guess who is talking about getting another baby or two? Guess who it is? Drop it in the chat. Who's talking about having another baby? Another baby. Those of you that follow the Mark Dolan show, not Mark Bolan, the body language expert, but Mark Dolan. Mark Dolan, who looks like an English Doogie Howser to me. Mark Dolan dropped a video today. She wants 2 more. Shock as Duchess plans revealed. It apparently... there is a rumor that Meghan Markle wanted to have another baby. He dropped this video 2 hours ago. I will share the link in here. If you guys want to go and watch that video, I have about 10 minutes left in it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but let's see. I've got a very special video for you on Saturday too that'll drop about Meghan Markle's business. I give her some business advice. So let's take a look. Let's see. And I don't know if you guys remember, because I did comment in the Mark Dolan one. I predicted when they were down in Colombia that they were talking about possibly doing an adoption. I also think they were talking about doing an adoption when they were in Africa. So let's see. Let's see. Are they going to do? Let's start at the top. Do they want to adopt? Queen of Cups. Absolutely. Oh, Denise, I see what you did there. 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. They think it's getting Queen of Wands. They think, Megan thinks, I should say, she thinks that this is going to be a PR support. So remember the movie The Birdcage? What was the solution to the scandal with Gene Hackman? Oh, forgot Gene Hackman died. The scandal with Gene Hackman's character in that, the senator. Have a wedding, have a baby, do something like that. That is going to correct the PR on this. And she does think that that is a course of correction. And mark my words, what I also think is happening is they will use this as an opportunity to start yet another product launch. Another product launch. There we go. 7 of Cups, the Hermit in reverse, not learning from anything. 6 of Wands, it's not going to work. So I do think that if they opt to kind of throw this PR out there, that they're going to adopt a baby, that they're going to, help some poor urchin, Oliver Twist more. Yes, Alexa more, please. If they opt to do this, the optics are not going to be good on it. People are going to really, really be shocked. So will they? She wants to, but will they? Will they be able to do it? Queen of Swords. No, this is not going to happen. Not going to happen. Devil in reverse. You're the devil in disguise. Oh, yes, you are. And they don't have the money to do it, quite frankly. Quite frankly, it is expensive to surrogate. It is very expensive to surrogate. It is expensive to adopt. It is expensive to do that. And Dave Murphy, you're right. Another child that doesn't go to school. Did you see my video on that though? I think their kids go to private school and they don't send them a lot. I think they keep them home a lot, which actually does ring true with how Harry was brought up, because there is some evidence that Diana would keep Harry home from school if he wasn't feeling well, if he had the sniffles, and she would want him to keep her company. So she would keep him home a lot, kind of set him off on a poor track there. So there it is. There it is. Have they already tried and failed? Have they already tried and failed to adopt? 10 of Wands, yes. 10 of Swords. Look at this. Look at this, guys. King of Wands. So, keep trying. Yeah, keep trying to do it. I don't think that they're getting a lot of cooperation because they don't want to do a surrogacy. They don't want to do an engineered baby. I'm going to say engineered baby. They would much rather do something that appears to be altruistic. IVF is cheap in India. Really? It's only $5,000 for a surrogate? Really? Wow. Well, I found out something very interesting. Apparently in the United States, it's illegal to surrogate and use your own egg. It's like you can't use the goods from the guy and use your own egg. I didn't know that. When I was talking about doing surrogacy with one of my girlfriends, I was going to surrogate for her. That was like my thing. I wanted her to use her egg, and she didn't want to use her own eggs because she thought they were old, but she's only a little bit older. She's like 6 months older than me. I'm like, your eggs are just as old as mine. So why haven't the children been looked into? Missy asks. Missy's over on the vert. Why haven't that? Let's see. Why hasn't Archie been looked into? 9 of Swords. Death in reverse. Knight of Swords. Because there is something up with that kid. There is something up with that kid. All of the records are really shut down here. That's that 8 of Wands up top. That is information blockade. Here, the World card is information blockade. This is a deep, dark secret that they are hiding, though, guys. I'm telling you, it's a secret. It makes them very, very nervous. Did you ever see the movie Little Nicky with Quentin Tarantino plays a person in that? And he says, "You make the Lord very nervous." He says that in the movie. It's just a small role. So Little Nicky is hilarious. It's an Adam Sandler movie. Go watch it. It's really funny. Harvey Keitel's in it too. He plays Lucifer. His information makes everyone very nervous, I think, because it does interfere with his line of succession. And I think this is best kept secret. The High Priestess is a secret keeper in tarot. So I think that this is a big secret about little Archie. And I do think that they have cooperation from the crown on the information, because we have that Knight of Swords in reverse. So what do you say we break it down? own kids. What is the big deal about the secrets about Archie? Why is all of his information locked up? Why is it locked up? Why is his information locked up? We're going to do a little storytelling here, 2 by 2, noun and verb, because the information, if it gets out, is going to create a path of judgment that is going to be very, very negative. These are lies. The Hermit in reverse are institutional lies. I'm going to say that. I'm not blaming the royal family. I'm not blaming the institution, but it's institutionalized lies. Queen of Wands, 6 of Swords. I think they do find out that the origins of that child, and I'm going to say this, I mean, other people have said that this was a child that was begat of another relationship and just taken on by the Sussexes, that there is another mother out there, another mother that maybe was a chambermaid or someone who worked in the palace. That is what I think we find out. I think we find out that this baby is Harry's, not necessarily Meghan's. Hence why he doesn't entirely look like her. King of Wands, we find out that he is not noble or decent and that he was throwing those wands all over the place. Becky, good to see you in the chat. 8 of Wands, have to keep it secret. Otherwise, we develop a whole separate line of succession in the royal family. But, you know, it's an illegitimate. So he really can't rise to, even though it's Harry's kid, it can't really rise to the occasion, so to speak. So that's what we've got about it. Welcome, 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 everybody who's jumping in. This is a paid reading room. If you want your own personal readings, please super chat, super sticker, or go through Hypsee. If you have pop culture questions, drop them. We're talking about the Sussex kids right now. I have been Sussex heavy all week long. All week long. It's been a lot of news. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at why don't we hear anything about Lilibet. I'm going to thank Missy for her in-depth question. Hi, Lady of the Lake. Page of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. On a Knight of Pentacles. And look, if you guys notice, this is much, much brighter. This is a much brighter reading, but we have 5s. Lots of 5s, 6s, 4s. Nice progression here. The 5, there's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of players in this kid. So I do think, and I'm sorry, guys, but it sounds like conspiracy theory. I think that there's some genetic material. I think that they developed this kid out of some of Diana's DNA. That's what I think. I really do think that they did that. Now, I don't know if it's the hair on the nightstand or if there was some other way that they have some genetics from her. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Harry is walking around with her genetics, but I think that there was some genetic engineering that they actually created this child. And everybody's coming in now. Hi, guys. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Margie's here. So I'm just getting my pillow in a better spot. Good to have everybody here. I got you, Dave. Thank you for the caps there. If you have pop culture questions, just drop them in the chat, guys, in all caps so that I see them. Questions for you, personal questions, I will answer through Hypsee or super chats. So Lilibet, I think that there's a lot of planning and interest in keeping her quiet and under wraps for now. The big reveal is, ta-da, she's Diana 2.0. That is really what they're trying to do. And I do think that there is an effort behind the scenes, specifically Missy, an effort behind the scenes to craft and cultivate a personality for her. The investment. And I was talking earlier, I did a numerology tarot psychic reading on As Ever. It's going to drop on Saturday morning. If you remember, you can see it now. But I do think that there is an effort to invest in those children in the future. We're investing in them, in their personalities, but I don't think that Archie is coming along as nicely as they want. I think Lilibet is the one that they are going to have a clothing line. It's going to be like California Princess. Like that's where that's where they're going with this, kids. So indeed. So, all right, boys and girls. Dave Murphy's got one on the table. Let's go. So Dave Murphy, will Sophie and Edward's son James become a working royal? My understanding is he wants to. His parents don't want him to. Hope you enjoyed that, Missy. All right. So what do the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh want for their son James? Let's take a look at that. It's an ideal positioning. 9 of Swords. They are concerned about him. Why are they concerned? Hang on. Why are they concerned? This is interesting. You know, I'm not sure why we're getting this. It's almost as if the position of working royal for James would be like a temporary position. And I think that that's the concern, that with the slimming down of the monarchy, if he starts working for the monarchy, it won't be for very long. So it's not really a career path that has some longevity to it. There's not really longevity. So hang on. Let's see. Do the Edinburghs, the Duke and Duchess, do they know something we don't know? Temperance in reverse, 3 of Cups, 10 of Wands. So I can't remember which of you said this, but someone said when Queen Elizabeth was alive, there were 3 royal houses. There was the Queen's, there was the Prince of Wales, and there was the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. They had 3 separate courts. This seems like there's not enough room for more than the king, the prince, and the prince. So Charles, William, and George. It seems like there's not enough room for any more. It seems that there's going to be just those 3 levels of royal life, and that's it. And that if they bring in any other players, it will be temporary purposes only. It'll just be for a period of time. Curious. What does James want? Let's see what James wants. Let's see what James wants. I see you, Haley. Hi, honey. I appreciate you guys doing all caps. I know you guys are really uncomfortable with it, but I like the all caps. Lady Fanny, hello. Fancy meeting you here. Just like get my act together here, Lady Fanny. Very happy to see you in my chat. So, what does James want? What is James? 8 of Cups. James, 5 of Cups. I think that there's a bit of romance around the royal family. He wants to do good work. He wants to do work that will improve the lives of others that are not quite as blessed as he is. So I think that he really, in earnest, wants to contribute to the royal family in some fashion, to the monarchy. I think he does want to participate, but that there's really not a place for him as of yet. The work ethic is there, the desire is there, but I don't think that they really have a sustainable place for him. Will this change going into the future? Will this change going into the future? Will William and Catherine possibly see a diamond in the rough? A diamond in the rough, if you will. I think he seems like a decent kid too. Lady Fanny, don't use your phone to make soup. William and Catherine are going to see the benefit here, but not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Why not yet? So, and I think that this is really wise. I think William and Catherine really want him. I hate to say like so is wild oats. It's not like that. They want him to see the world, experience the world, go to St. Andrews, go to wherever, and find out what you really like before you just jump into the family business. And I think that this is a good leadership quality out of the two of them. I think that they are truly trying to let him find himself before he commits to a lifetime or a lifestyle that maybe he doesn't have the skill set for. Yeah, that's what I think. Denise, I'm going to pull up your question too. The business of having, a part-time job and getting an education, I think is really good. So right now, what is the trajectory that James would go on? We talk about jumping timelines and changing over. If you're, a construction worker and you really want to be an artist, like changing that timeline, you have to change some of the energetics about yourself. So what does he have to do? What is it? What is the expected future? He could do whatever he wants. So this is kind of a neat set of cards for him because this says the world is yours. You can do whatever you'd like. Decide what you like and go forward. Blessings are there. So he's going to be successful at whatever he does. So hopefully he will make that decision. I've got a question over here. It is a one question deep dive. I'm sorry. I've got Hector. Hector, glad to have you here. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you for purchasing a reading. I really appreciate it. This is my full-time job. So reconnected with an individual back in September. He reached out to you after a long time. Reached out to me after a very long time of no communication. Saw each other briefly in September, and that's the last. Okay, birthday's coming up. Wanted to reach out and bridge the gap of silence. I get it. You're nervous about entering a runner chaser cycle. I get it. So let's see how that individual is feeling about you. Let's see. And again, I appreciate you using the Hypsee link. Missy, if you want to wait after this live, I am going to be on there. I'll be on Hypsee to do questions, personally, not on the live. That's what I mean. So, all right, Hector, let's go, man. Let's go. All right. See what this fella's doing. Empress. We're going to take a look at that tower too in a second. Hang on. This is a one question deep dive. One question deep dive. What is that tower moment? Ah, okay. I see what's going on here. So, Hector, what I think we have going on here is there was a resurrection of an old partner. I think of an old partner kind of showed back up, and there was a little bit of a torch being held on to. Oh, Hector, I got you right here. We're reading for you right now, baby. Right now. So I think an old lover came back into the scene and was just kind of interfering with other new prospects. So, was this prior relationship, was it significant? I do think that the other party, this was a notable, significant relationship. So they've already put time in, they've already invested time in. So they feel really good about trying to see results on that investment. I give it a little bit of time because I do think that the other party, this former person that you were hanging out with, I think that their former relationship partner was a bit dominant, and it's very easy to be in that relationship because they don't have to make a whole lot of decisions. I think it's someone who actually does have notable funds that they can kind of splash out a little bit with I'm going to just say M. I don't want to say the whole name. Certainly they are in communication. M is in communication with this other party, and they're trying to kind of rekindle and reestablish. This tower card tells me that it's not a great idea, though. This is kind of going back, and sometimes we like to recycle boyfriends, girlfriends, and it doesn't always work out, but you think because you have a little bit of distance in there, we may have some success. So I think that there's a resurrection going on with an old partner. Now, how would a contact from you, well, let's see how M is feeling about you. So I will tell you this, that M thought you were hot stuff. There is a lot of hot stuff energy between the two of you. A lot of chemistry. Let's put it that way. Definitely a lot of chemistry and interest in one another in a very intimate kind of fashion. Thinking back on the relationship, I did feel the relationship that you had with them. I don't think that they were quite ready to get into another relationship at that time. I think they were possibly rebounding. I don't know if you know that. Possibly rebounding, or still, kind of carrying feelings for a former relationship. But kind of saw a new beginning and like a possible future with you. Then that other party stepped back in and kind of contacted them and, said, hey, come on, baby, let's go for a drive. One of those things. So I do think that there was a very keen interest in you. You were a little bit different and very exciting, looked like a grand adventure, definitely attracted to you. But then we had, that old partner kind of rolled back in and kind of made things complicated. How would it be if you reached out for this birthday that is coming up? How would that be? How would that be? What would the reaction be? Got 7 of coins. Knight of Swords. It'll be a brave moment. I don't think that you're going to get ghosted, but I think you might get a terse reply. I think you may get a reply that's like, "Oh, that's so nice of you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a great day." You know, you may get left on red for a few minutes. And I don't know if they're ready to move forward. Let me see. Would they be ready to move forward? Let me see. Not yet. Not yet. Wheel of Fortune. Timing is not right. Let's find some timing here for you and wrap this reading up. No love connection, but there is a love connection. There's a store that you go to, and I don't know where you are, but where you are in the world, but there's like all the shops have like those vine walls now with like the neon on them. There's a shop that you go to that has like one of those like vine walls. It's almost like an Instagram section of the shop, and there's somebody there for you to meet. So if there's a store or a shop or a location that you go to that has that, I mean, I can see it very clearly. There's like kind of a vine wall, and then there's like the neon there. There's, I think, white around the outside, and I also think that there's a little bit of like stripy paneling. It almost looks like that acoustic paneling. That there's somebody there, and I kind of want to say it's a hair salon. But it feels like boutique-y. It feels like there's like a boutique in there. So if you look around, sniff around, and see if people are looking at you. Because this one steals looks at you when you go by. You know, they watch your butt as you go by. So I'm not kidding. You know, like checking you out. Everybody needs their bum checked out every now and then. So let's see. Future prospects. Okay. If any of your friends are going to set you up, take the bait. Take the bait. If any of your friends want to set you up. If you go into that little boutique that I just described and one of your friends there says, "Hey, I've got the perfect person for you," take them up on it. Go on a date. Even if the person doesn't seem or look or seem anything like what you would date. Go on the date. You're going to be very, very pleasantly surprised with some new beginnings. I always like the personal reference when you're, out in the dating world. The old fashioned Jewish matchmaker idea is like my ideal. I even said to my father once upon a time, I was like, "Why didn't you ever use a matchmaker with us?" And he was like, "Because that's like 100 years old. What are you, Yentl?" And I was like, "Kinds of. Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you see me? No, not Can I Build a Snowman?"
Same thought.
I'm going to make you watch Yentl tonight. It's such a good movie. It really is such a good movie. But anyway, so take people up on this, because I do think that you've got some people in your orbit. I keep getting like this, like Miami kind of aesthetic by this vine wall. So I don't know if you're down there, but I definitely think that there are some other prospects. Will M ever come around? Possibly. But I think possibly you guys are friends rather than lovers later. I think M has a whole can of worms that they're opening up with this resurrected relationship. So I just think that they're going to go through some rough patches, some interesting rough patches. So be mindful of that. Yeah, we could all use another friend as long as they're not like super, super dramatic. So, as long as they bring to the table like some cool stuff, definitely entertain all offers. So Hector, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, Hypsee also has a chat screen. You can always message me through there, and I am going to be live on Hypsee for tonight and tomorrow night and over the weekend. So Absolutely. So, Polar Sam, we are doing live readings for either super chats or, oops, that was not Hypsee. Super chats for personal readings. I do have a 1-card option on here. If you would like to drop in there, you can go on over there. I don't think that the links always work on the vertical. So if you want to come on over, or you can just drop a super, and that would be super deluxe. So I appreciate that. Hector, thank you so much. It is good people like you that are helping my channel grow. We've got a question from Haley. Haley, I hope you're having a great day. I'm going to switch back to my Housewives Tarot. And how does the Spencer feel about Harry and Meghan and William and Catherine and that William, okay, gotcha. So how does the Spencer family? So there's a lot of players in the Spencer family. So let's take a look at their patriarch, the guy who's in charge. This would be Charles Earl Spencer. How does he feel about Harry and Meghan collectively? Ace of Pentacles. I'm telling you, he is a snake in the grass. Look at that. I think that Charles Spencer, if he could engineer putting his nephew on the throne, he would use it to all benefit himself. Hermit in reverse down there, Temperance in reverse, Page of Cups. He would be Harry's biggest supporter. If he could set up, without paying for it, an alternate court to the current royal court, I think he would do it. Is Charles Spencer involved in anything like this? Does he have a plan to take over the crown? Does he have a plan? Judgment in reverse. 9 of Cups. 4 of Swords. Strength in reverse. 4 of Wands. There is something about him that he feels entitled. Just grab some water. That he feels more entitled to benefit from the crown than is allotted to him. And he, if that's the case, he should have thought about it before he made that heartfelt speech at his sister's funeral, because that was shots across the bow. We all know that. He really did have a lot to say about the royal family in that speech without saying anything about them. So, yes, I'm going to say that I do think that Charles Spencer would set up an alternate court. And if he could put that nephew on the throne, he would try and be the puppet master of Dum Dum Harry. He said Dum Dum Harry. So how does he feel about Meghan specifically? How does Charles Spencer think about Meghan specifically right now? Moon in reverse. 3 of Cups. Get off her. Page of Swords. Get rid of her. Get rid of her. And, I think Charles was married. How many times was Charles Spencer married? Is he had his 4th wife, or did he just divorce his 4th? I mean, he's had a plenty. He doesn't seem to be very good at relationship, and he seems kind of mean on the way out the door. So, yes, Diana asked him for shelter, but he said no. Yeah, he did. And I think that was a bit of arrogance. He just didn't know where to put her and didn't want her dimming his shine, so to speak, stealing his thunder. I don't think that she's on that island either, guys. I don't think she's buried there. I think she's buried in the family crypt. It doesn't really make any sense for her to be there. Soup simmering minus the phone. Excellent, Lady Fanny. I'm sorry. I'm full of jokes all the time. Full of jokes. So I think that Charles Spencer, if he were to have a quiet moment with his nephew, he would say, divorce her, get out of this situation, take your kids. I think he did that. I think he did take his kids. But I think some of his daughters don't speak to him or something like that. I think he feels the same way. The Lady of the Lake will look at that. Does he not want the press there? Four of Wands, yes. Yeah, secrets in the family home. Hi, Samantha. We have the Four of Wands. The family home is the land of secrets with that High Priestess. He doesn't want the hullabaloo there. So how does he feel? Hi, Dora. How does he feel about William and Catherine becoming king and queen? How does he feel about that? Immediately, I'm getting that he already is trying to soften them up a little bit. Flower Garden, I see your question. How does he feel about William and Catherine coming up? Temperance, I think that he's already buttering them up. I think he's already massaging the shoulders and trying to get them to like him. The Knight of Swords, despite the things that he said, he actually is presenting himself as a truth teller. You need a truth teller in your kingdom so that you don't have the sycophants and gray suits, the gray suits that everybody talked about. It really is him presenting himself as a good counselor of state, if you will. I think he would love that role to be, on the speed dial, but not have any responsibility day to day. So, with that kind of mix, I do think that there's something a bit. Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's a truth teller, Lady Fanny. But I think he would present himself as, I'm going to come in here and tell you the truth. I'm not going to, sugarcoat everything for you. I will keep you aware of all the truth that's going on, and I will be able to show you who is a snake and who is not. I think he really would present himself like that, which is a shame. Here, I think this presentation is not really successful. I think he doesn't win. Catherine, I don't think trusts him. I don't think that Catherine trusts him at all. So, how does William feel about Uncle? Well, all right. So we'll do quick shots here. How does Megan feel about Uncle Charles? Justice, she thinks he's a snake. How does Harry feel about Uncle Charles? Harry thinks that he's kind of on the fence with Uncle Charles. I think Uncle Charles said no to him, and that's why he's like, I don't know if I can trust him. I don't know if I can trust him with my bald spot. William, how does he feel about Uncle Charles? He is keeping his distance. And how about our sweet Lady Catherine? 10 of Swords. No nonsense. She does not want to have anything to do with that. So I don't think that she's mean, but I think she's very cordial. So there it is. I think that Charles Spencer would weasel his way into the court if he could. I don't think he can. And I think that he would absolutely put his dullard nephew on the throne if he could, but he can't. So we're just going to leave it there. All right, let me see what else I got. Flower Garden, great question. Great question. So I very much, for anybody who's just jumped in, I question whether Diana was buried on the island. I don't think the crypt that is there holds her. I think she's in the family crypt with everyone else. I think that makes a lot more sense. And Flower Garden said the village had a power cut the night of her funeral. Was this when Diana was interred in the family crypt? Bazinga. Look at that. 6 of Cups is a yes, 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 yes. She belongs with her ancestors. There are photographs of a misty little kind of shade right near a certain area in the family crypt. Is that Diana pointing us in the direction of where she truly lays? Queen of Pentacles. No, she's still goofing around over there. 6 of Wands. She is where we're seeing the mist. And I'm going to clip this and make it its own little video. So where we're seeing the mist is not, in fact, where she is buried. She's buried in there. And if you follow that mist, if people went in there and they took photographs and followed where the mist goes, the mist points in the direction. So wherever the mist moves to, wherever that the orbs or the distortions in the photograph, wherever it moves to, that's where she's buried. So I know the photographs that I saw, it's like from the doorway, and it's like right in the doorway here on the right is where you often see the orbs in the mist. So that's not where she's buried. That's where she kind of greets people and brings them over to where she is actually buried. So Flower Garden, it's a yes. The power cut that night was when they put her in there. That was when they interred her. And I think it was very limited people. There was only like 2 or 3 people that actually did that. There were more people outside, but there were only like 2 or 3 that was in there. I do think that Charles oversaw that. I think that Charles did oversee her interment there. So I'm going to keep this. And Lady Fanny said, so the headstone that Megan was hugging is for the pet bunny. Let's see what is in that monument to Diana on the island. What is in there? Is there anything in there? I may do a remote view on this too, guys. So maybe we'll get 2 videos out of this. What is in the monument that's there? 8 of Wands, nothing. There's nothing in there. 4 of Wands. This is what he wanted. He did want that to become a shrine to her, the Temple of Diana. He wanted that. And I think that he was going to monetize being around that lake. All of the kerfuffle that he'd said about not wanting people there, not wanting people stampeding, blah, 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 blah. I think he really does want people to come there and pay their respects respectfully outside of the lake area. So it would be tours like kind of going there. Absolutely so wild. Tell you what, guys, I will set up a group remote view. We can all go, and it'll be on a weekend. We'll do a remote view where we all go to the Diana grave. Who wants in? Who wants in? Dave Murphy, I know you want it. So it'll be a guided meditation remote view, and we'll all just go into that crypt and we'll creep around. And then maybe we'll go to the family crypt too, and we'll all look around there too. What do you think? I think it'll be fun. Okay. Let me see if I can set it up for weekend. And maybe I'll do 2 sessions. I'll do one for my English friends and we'll do one for the Australians. and the Americans can go to either, because we're in a weird phase. So keep an eye on my community page, and we will do that together. And when I drop this clip, I will put the information on that as well. So it may be a couple of weeks from now, but we're going to do that. We're going to go look at the Diana grave. So Dave, do me a favor, just send me a real quick WhatsApp and remind me to set that up, and let me know when you're available for it. All right, that was a fun question, huh, kids? So Megan was channeling the pet bunny, according to Lady Fanny. So very interesting. Didn't expect that. All right, Sally's got pop culture question. So today is January 15th, 2026. And there's a rumor that Harry and Meghan are in the UK. Let's see. Let's see. Start with Meghan. Meghan in the UK today. Today is the greatest. That's traveling. That's traveling. Is she headed to the United Kingdom? Oh. Hang on. A little pendulum action here. Is Meghan Markle headed to the United Kingdom? We're circling with pendulums. That is pendulum making a decision. Up and down, like shaking your head yes and no, or yes is a yes for me, and side to side is a no. Is Meghan on her way to the UK? Holy moly, guys. I got a yes. I got a yes. What in the world? Why? Why? She's going there to start a fight, guys. She's going there to start a fight because they're worried about the titles here. So the path, justice in reverse, 5 of swords. This is going to fight. This is the pressure. We have to fight for what? The hidden hand, Harry's titles here. And over here, the Hierophant is the public face. She is not in agreement with the crown. And the private goal is to find some balance and fairness for them. Fairness. I'm sorry if you're watching this on the vert. And what is the likely pivot? The devil has come home. Oh, I'm so sorry. All my friends in the United Kingdom, I am so sorry. I think that they're going there to make a claim for, you like that, Lady Fanny? My Piper Laurie? The devil has come home. They are, you know, this is the thing, is that she's the heavy. She's the Annabelle in this conversation. So if it's your first time here, when I get angry, I turn into Annabelle. I turn into the bitch from New Jersey. So she is taking this in hand. That's why she was the one talking about the titles for her kids. That's why she is fighting. Oh my goodness, Sally, there's all kinds of action there. Holy crow. She feels that she's the one that needs to fight for his title and make sure that it's secure. She's going there demanding things. So that business about all of the demands for Invictus and whatnot, the 4 floors that were going to be blocked off for them, and, you know, her own chef and bulletproof glass and the Pope Mobile and whatnot. She's the one asking for all this stuff because, in her opinion, Harry is too meek and he's too kind about asking for things. So, guys, I'm sorry. I think Meghan Markle is on her way back to the United Kingdom. I think she's on her way back. I think she is in an airplane right now, under cover of darkness, in the dead of night, burning bright. Sing it. There's a shining star, no matter where you are. There's a light over at the Frankenstein place. My phrasing was not perfect there, but so yes, is Harry headed back to the United Kingdom? Strength in reverse, 4 of Swords. I think, methinks he may have been over there before she was. Yes. I think if we're playing good cop, bad cop with these two, he's the good cop. He's, I'm going over there, going to fulfill my destiny as a prince of the realm, blah, 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 blah. As Becky would say, blah, la, 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 la. So I think that he went over there to kind of lube up the entry. I'm sorry, that was gross. They're not talking to William. They're talking to the king. And in their opinion, they don't need to talk to William because he's not the king. That is the attitude here. That's the attitude. We don't need no stinking Prince of Wales. We need to speak to the top dog. We need to speak to the king. So 6 of Wands, I think that he is in negotiation with his paw, with his dear paw, trying to save his skin. What is the main idea behind his conversation with the king? What is his main idea? Money, 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 money. Sing it. Money. Lady Fanny, you got it. Bing, bing, bing. You win a prize. You win a prize. Lots of pentacles. Let me drop some pentacles in here. I'm going to drop pentacles. Hang on. Blue. This is fun. Bling, 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 bling. Just like on Mario Kart. Lots of coins. He is looking for lots of coins. So, and if you haven't watched it already, watch my video that's dropping on Saturday morning. If you remember, you can watch it now, about the finances behind, as ever, how they financed that whole project. I got some very interesting things in my read today. So King of Pentacles, he's there. I am not a bank. He's treating his father like a bank. He needs a bank. 2 of Cups. Let me come back. 9 of Wands. I need protection. It's not my fault. I was born into this family. There's danger everywhere. Danger everywhere. And I am not in charge of my future. I cannot save my own skin. So, that is what this is all about, guys. So I think we are skint, and I've said this time and time again. They are losing money left and right. I do think that they have some money still in the coffers. I think that they can get a little bit of action out of what they still have in the bank, in their personal bank. But I think they're pretty skint. I think they're on the balls of their ass, is what we say in America. So yeah, that is kind of wild. Let's cut it there. Now I want to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. And Mustard Mischief, my good friend Samantha. She says, Megan, how's your father? I did a reading. I don't think she watches me. I don't think she knows that I exist. So that's a shame. That's a shame. Yeah, maybe she'll watch on Saturday. So guys, I'm going to close up questions today. I had 2 more, and I don't want to keep you here too long. So I'm going to close up questions. If you guys want personal readings, you can go on over to Hypsee after this. I will have live hours on there, but let's drop this one. Actually, we'll go. We're gonna do Sally's question first because it is relevant, and then we'll go back to that was Elizabeth's question. So Elizabeth, I'm not skipping yours. So Sally has asked, the king has returned to Clarence House, and there were all kinds of cars, and the royal helicopter landed behind Buckingham Palace. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if any pages show up, because pages would be Harry. Harry would be pages. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, thank you for doing the time warp in the chat up there. Who is that doing the time warp with me? Zephyr, remind me if I haven't sent you a picture of my Ella dressed up like Columbia. She was remarkable, Columbia. All right. What was going on at Clarence House? Devil in reverse. You're the devil in disguise. Oh, yes, you are. Devil in disguise. This is about a new secure beginning, guys. That's what's going on. While I don't see any pages there, the devil has long been Harry and Meghan in my readings, because the devil is something that's embedded and you can't get rid of it. It's a bad rash. It's the hairpiece. Right, Greg?
Hairpiece?
Hairpiece.
Random hairpiece.
Random hairpiece. So it is something that you cannot get away from. It is something that is embedded. And in this case, with the devil in reverse, it is the devil coming home. We are reinfecting the royal family. Why? Why are we reinfecting the royal family? Because we couldn't get anything started. Got to be starting something. No, not starting anything. Could not do it. Up here, Chariot in reverse. We did not progress into the future. And the Five of Cups. I don't know what went wrong. I can't get my butt in gear. I need a new beginning. I need help. Open up your heart to me, Daddy. Open up your heart to me. Now, do I think that this re-entry, if there is a negotiation for a re-entry on Harry and Meghan, do I think it is going to be, oh, sure, go back to Frogmore Cottage and, live your best life, or, oh, let us set you up in some apartments in Windsor or Buckingham Palace or wherever? No, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think their living accommodations are going to be vastly reduced. I think that they will be offered something very small, a little stinky, and something that, they'll renovate, but, to like a kind of middle class standard for them. If you're not a working royal, you're going to live like this. So the delightful living accommodations of, say, the York sisters or Zara and Mike Tyndall are not going to be comparable. I think that they would be reduced. I do think the pig shed, Haley. I think it's going to be a separate home that is far away. And I do think that it's going to be a small kind of stinky place in the Cotswolds that I don't think will be great. I don't think it'll be great. And I think that they'll have some regrets for turning up their nose at Frogmore Cottage. Because to be sure, Frogmore Cottage was a lovely home here in the United States or there. It was a lovely home. I don't think that Lady Fanny, I don't think they would put them in Adelaide Cottage. I don't think they would do that. And I don't think they would, writing romance, I don't think they'd put them back in Knottcott. It's too close. Adelaide Cottage, I actually love. It once housed a monkey or a couple of monkeys at one point, I think during Queen Victoria's time. I have to check my dates on that. But it did have monkeys in it, which I think is kind of amazing. So it's such a cute property. But I think this is a beg, bring me back. The world is too dangerous and horrifying for me out here. That is the coldest cup of tea I've ever had. I agree, Zeph. Don't put them in the barn. The animals don't deserve it. 100%. Megan's not nice to animals anyway. Oh, did I say that? I did say that. That is my opinion. My opinion. So, so that's what I think is going on. I do think that there are discussions going on. Oh, rating romance. I'm being a smart ass too. This is always smart arse time for me. I usually am in my regular day anyway. So so all right, we're gonna skip over and we're gonna ask another question. And this will be our last question, but it's a weird one, and I feel like we need a weird deck for this. Let me bust out a weird deck. What do we got here? The Curious Creatures Tarot. This is a Cynthia Eriva tarot, if I've ever seen one. That woman, she frightens me. I'm a little bit scared. She really, and I'm not saying that she is not an attractive person, but her styling, she absolutely looks like Nosferatu in the movie. I'm sorry, she really does. It's quite frightening. So we all know that Wicked is a tour de force of creative moviedom. And the sequel, which came out, I have not seen either. I know Ella and I wanted to watch them. I have not seen either. But Cynthia Eriva and Ariana Grande both are painfully thin. And I do know that on tours and on movie sets that often it becomes a microculture, and people will start to adapt to each other's behaviors and attitudes and things like that. So perhaps this thinness that we are seeing out of these young ladies, they are young ladies, this thinness is supportive weight loss, let's call it that. I know that sounds terrible, but how is Ariana Grande? How is she doing? Now, this is a fade, and it's Mac Miller. Mac Miller, I think was his name. That was the former boyfriend of Ariana Grande, who sadly passed away from substances. And I believe they were broken up at the time, but she was quite upset about it. Since then, she has kind of tracked in an odd direction. I think maybe there is some grief and some healing that needs to be done. Is that true? Six of Cups, she's always looking backward. The best of times are behind her with the Five of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles, she is just going through the motions very slowly. It's the energy here is she's got one foot in the grief of the past and one foot trying to kind of drag the other leg into the future. And that is a conflict that's not going to work. She's just going to tear herself apart. Not like Pinhead in Hellraiser. How is she doing now? Like transformation. Emperor. Is she the Emperor? Eight of Pentacles. Wheel of Fortune up here. Oh, this is complex. Performative art, I think, is very interesting. And Cheer Denise just did a whole video yesterday. So a long video about I don't want to say her whole name because I don't want my video to get popped, but the dark performative artists, Marina. She's an artist. She does some weird stuff. Abramovich. Try not to say it. And there is also another woman that's in her video. She has a black line and she's really frightening. And she has a purse with her husband's head. It's a model of her husband's head, really disturbing. They are kind of players in a very strange world. One of those ladies wrote a cookbook, something about spirits, and it was on a wall, and she wrote it in bodily fluids, which is very, being a part of the spiritual community. I mean, there are some people that practice these strange dim practices, and I do think that Ariana, she talked about having her memory wiped at one point. So, that place where you go where you have your memory wiped, where they take your memory from you. And I think that perhaps there was a promise of doing that and kind of implanting her with a different future. Is Ariana in trouble? Is she in trouble? Is she in trouble? And I was a big fan of hers because Ella watched Sam and Cat, the show with her and McCready. And I thought she was really cute in that. Is Ariana in trouble? 4 of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. I don't think she's really in charge of her future anymore. 10 of Swords. King of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. They gave her a whole new world. And Queen of Wands. Her career, other people are in charge of her career. And I'm going to stop reading on her right now because I'm got a little dark there. But we'll read on Cynthia real quick. What about Cynthia? What's the deal with Cynthia? And I dropped a card. We're going for it. Sometimes cards jump out. The 3 of Wands in reverse. 3 of Wands. Make time stop. And the Fool 2.0. 3 of Cups. 9 of Wands. 5 of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. The cards are flying and jumping. You got that right. So Cynthia Arriva. The 3 of Wands, you make time stop. The Fool 2.0 in this deck is about doing the same things over and over and over again and trying to get another reaction. When we're in reverse, this is doing the same thing over and over again, brainwashing, getting the information in there. 5 of Pentacles, the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, which was about extracting beliefs, thoughts, morality. I do think that there is some of that going on. I'm a little afraid of Cynthia Arriva. She is a talent, but the transformation, if you look at the pictures of her, the transformation into what she is now is a little disturbing. Under the surface, it is pleasure for the sake of pleasure. There is some school of thought that says that you can sell your soul. And Cheer Denise talks about this, the covering of one eye. That's the video that she did. It's saying that part of you sold part of your soul for success. You're blinding yourself in one eye. And I think that there are certain people that are high ranking agents of darkness. And I think that there are foot soldiers and there are higher ranking people of darkness. And I think that they are in Hollywood. I think that Ariana Grande is one of those people that her leadership, the people that were in charge of her, they initiated her into this world. And I do think that they extracted some information from her, so that she does not have all of the free will that she would have. That now Cynthia Erivo, I think, is has more agency over her future and what she does. So, but this is a pretty dark reading, fairly dark reading. I think that she is very much in control of her future, whereas I think Ariana Grande is not necessarily. Their friendship, what comes of it? What comes of it? What comes of it? What comes of this friendship? What is the trajectory of this friendship? And then we're going to leave it there. 6 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, Fool 2.0. This is brainwashing, guys. Brainwashing. There we go. Queen of Swords, 7 of Cups, confusion, 5 of Cups, no longer being sad about things that are gone. I think if Cynthia assisted her friend, Ariana, the need for the assistance was because Ariana was heartbroken. I think it was because she was heartbroken, and they tried to erase the heartbreak. But something else happens in that process. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll be adding a conspiracy day here. Wow. That was dark and heavy. Yeah, a little bit of that. And this, they tried to turn me into a little triangle, but I said, no, no, no. Didn't the anniversary just pass? I think the anniversary just passed for her. Gosh, she was such a talent. She was such a breath of fresh air. She was amazing. I was a tremendous Amy Winehouse fan. I was like, oh, look at this. Look at what's coming our way. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Oh my goodness. Let's do this one. We got one in there at the very last second. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Isar. Let me get a clean deck, because this was a dark reading. So yeah, I think we need to do a remote view night. Yeah, remote view night. And maybe it'll be like a review of the remote view that we did the night before, or something like that. We'll figure it out. All right, so Isar, it's 2026. This will be a good palate cleanser. Let's get Isar home. All right. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So what do we have to do to get there? 3 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles. All right. So first of all, get your financing in place. You know, if there is someone in your world who says, oh my God, I have a great house for you. Why don't you just buy this? We'll rent to own, something like that. Do not do it. Do not do that. Do not do a rent to own. Don't. If your landlord says, hey, you can rent to own this place, don't do it. Not really worth it. I do think that the location that you're going to wind up in is not where you are now. It's not going to be in your town or your hamlet that you're in at the moment. You will be a little bit, it's like southeast of there. And I want to say it's like a 15 or 20 minute kind of journey. So whatever your conveyance of personal conveyances, like 15, 20 minutes southeast. I do feel that we go from rocks to sand, if that makes sense to you. Feels like we're more at elevation and kind of going down, like possibly toward a body of water. I don't know if you're close to water, but I think that you kind of move down the hill toward water. And I do think that it is a smaller place than you would expect. The reason why it's that, everybody says in real estate, it's location, location, location. I don't think it has enough bedrooms for you, but it is more of like a condo, like kind of townhouse living. I do feel like there's attached houses. I keep getting like a sage green, not the green that's on your super, but like a sage green. There's like a light green, but it's just trim work, and the roof is a very slow grade. So we have 2 stories and a very slow grade, and I do see almost looks like the terracotta tile roof there, and it's looking out, I think, over water, if that makes sense to you. Does that make sense? I don't know where in the world you are, but this feels the feeling. I'm not saying you're moving to the Amalfi Coast, but it feels like the Amalfi Coast. It feels like that. It feels like we're on vacation. It feels like there's a lot of promenade and walking, like waterfront walking there. I don't feel like a lot of vehicles, and there's still a lot of kind of maneuvery roads that go up, even where you are, even though you're downhill. I don't know if any of this makes any sense to you, Isar. Give me some feedback. So, the town has the letter B, the letter E, and I think there's a W in it. Not just those letters, but I think that there's more to it. And there's like this weird powder blue thing that gets you from where you are to where this place is, to where this house is. So I don't know if you have a friend who has a powder blue car, or if you have a powder blue car, but there's like a powder blue conveyance that gets you there. So yeah. And it does feel kind of breezy there. I keep seeing a lot of people wearing like kind of white linen breezy kind of business. So I don't know if we're closer to the summer months or if you're in a warmer location right now. When can we expect this? Let's see, when. So 7s, but we're going into spring because wands are spring. So we could be looking at 7 weeks getting out of the winter months, moving into weeks of spring. So I definitely, Santorini, right, Zeph? I think they've had some crazy volcano action going on now. Some rumblings all over the place. But I think we're looking at more towards spring. I'm going to recommend that you go on an adventure, go on a drive, and just set your intention when you start out on the drive and say, hey, I am going to head for the next place that I'm going to live. And like I said, I do think on this two-story structure that I'm seeing, let me bring out my handy dandy notepad and show you guys my terrible drawing skills. I'm terrible at drawing. I'm awful at it. So what I'm seeing is like, this is a road, and then here is this building, and there's separate kind of locations. And this is a That's not bad. I'm not doing a bad job right now, guys. Not bad. So this is like that little tile roof. Like it feels like those terracotta pipe tiles. This is like, looks like a fish scale roof. But I do think that there's garage here. And then there's 2 stories on each of these. Story 1, story 2. You know, if we're looking out over this, and I don't think there's balconies. I'm going to say that right now. I think that there's just windows here, no balconies. I can't really get a look at the back. I don't think that there's doors here either. These windows are different. The lower level, the windows are wider. They're wider windows. How do we get into this? Let me see. How do we get into this? And this is hilly. This is going up. Let me just see what's behind. Behind, if we look behind, back there, it's like picnic areas. Like there's like no pools, nothing like that. There's no fencing between the lots, and I think that that's where we enter the houses. I think you kind of enter the house either through the garage. I don't think that there's access. Like there's no door in the garage where you go up into the house. I think the access is over here. I think you open the garage, park your car in there, and then you get out, close your garage, walk around the back, doot, 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 and you go in the back door. You know, I think that that's really how this goes. But there's mountains back here. Like this is all mountainous, rocky, gray rocks. Gray. I spelled that right for all my English friends. Grey. It is not Gray. It's Grey.
I've always spelled it that way.
Huh?
I've always spelled it that
Me too. So this is the way that I feel it's more sandy. And I want to say that there's water down here, that we're looking out over water. But this is still up high. This is still up high. It's still a distance from the water. So Isar, I don't know if that helps. If you live in Turkey, like this feels like Turkey or Santorini or the Amalfi Coast. It feels very much like that. Feels balmy, you know, like it does get cold at night. I know it gets cold at night, but you know, this is yes, Dave, American spell gray, Gray. I used to get marks off for that because I would do Grey. So see if you can locate this. Now, I'm not sure how many buildings or how many residences are attached. I'm seeing like 3, and I think this is the one that you wind up with, the end unit. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your contribution. Fantastic stuff. Let me make myself a little bit bigger. Out of respect for my mods, I really wanted to stay here for an hour. I went a little bit over. I apologize to you guys. I know that it's a lot of work to mod, and I am sorry. I was really trying to get those done as quickly as possible. Isar came in at the last second. The super chat. Well appreciated super chat. So guys, tomorrow we have Members Live, and then we have Tarot Happy Hour. So we'll have some fun with that. We'll have a good time in the Tarot Happy Hour. But that'll be, I guess, 5:15 New York time is going to be the Tarot Happy Hour for general audience. The blah, 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 what am I saying? Blah, la, 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 la. What did Becky say? 3:45 is going to be the members only live. So Dave, I don't even know what time that is for you. I don't even know. But Saturday, I'm going to be live on Hypsee all day. I'm going to be live on Hypsee all night tonight, and tomorrow. So, guys, this is my working time. So come on in, hang out with me. Let me know what you think. Penny, I am going to watch Aphrodite's video, and I am absolutely going to do some production videos on Taylor, Travis, and Joe. So thanks for the great questions, kids. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being here. I know you have a lot of choices here on YouTube, and I really appreciate that you guys come over and hang out with me. Channel is growing, things are happening, and I'm loving being here. So that is all for today. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I hope that I see some of you over on Hypsee. So have a great night, and I am out.